Hello, this is Chaos Life. I'm Nathan, and I'll be telling you a story. This is a story which I shall label Arachnophobia. Why? Because it's filled with spiders. This was a nightmare I had a while ago, and I thought I'd share it, because I'm bored. The nightmare starts when I wake up in a giant spider web. Great start, I know. And there's like this dead dude next to me, and he has like a machete. And I have one free arm, thankfully, and I cut myself out. I facepalm into the floor. I get up, and I see a bunch of tiny spiders crawl out the door. It was terrifying. So I start looking around the bathroom. This took place in a bathroom. And I found a lighter and a can of hairspray. And I immediately think to myself, flamethrower. And I was like, okay. So I walk out of the bathroom, and the spiders, I see the spiders again. They start, clumping up into this giant ball and start, rolling at me. And there was, it was a decent-sized room. So I start running around, slowly, start spraying this thing down with fire. And at some point, all the spiders just dispersed. And I think to myself, oh, I guess I killed enough. No, but then through the wall, a giant spider with, orange stripes around its legs. Don't ask why. It was about the size of a king-size bed. The room I was in cannot fit a king-size bed. It was a very cramped room. It knocks me into the other room, into a wall, which, for some reason, a bow staff, the one that, ninjas use, fall, and at first I try charging it with the machete. It breaks on contact with its skull. So, that didn't work. So I picked up the bow staff, and I charged it again. But this time, there were, points in between its legs, it's hydraulics, spiders crawl with hydraulics and stuff. So I start attacking that. At some point, it flips onto its back as though if it were dead. I take this opportunity to leap on it and defang it with a stick. This causes it to panic and run away. I think to myself, okay, that's the last I'll ever see that guy. So I walk out of the room, and I see a bunch of dog-sized spiders, which that's what really freaked me out, the dog-sized ones. Not the little ones, not the big ones, the dog-sized ones. They were terrifying. They were, jumping around. They were, you can kind of, hear them hissing. They crawled on the walls and the ceilings. It was terrifying. So I just started smacking them with this stick. And this was, a decent-sized house. The front door's locked. I'm, running around this. And I find a safe. The safe is already open, and there's a handgun with a few bullets. And then I walk out of the room, there's for some reason 20 of them. And I have to now shoot them, which takes one bullet per one. They're kind of small. They're kind of like spiderlings from Grounded. They're kind of like that. After I kill all of them, one of them for some reason has the key to the exit, I open the door. And then you know who's out there waiting for me? The orange striped spider. We're going to call him the Nemesis Spider from now on because the name fits. He's now 2 times bigger. His fangs are 2 times bigger. And he's very, very mad. So, I try shooting at him. He doesn't even, flinch. He keeps, regenerating or something. And I can't just, hit him in the hydraulics again. Because he was, much smarter about defending them. So I decide to just run. So now I'm running away from this thing. And it's chasing me. It's a pretty, even chase. These guys are, pretty fast. I, at some point, run into an office building. It runs to the wall, smacks its head into a pillar, and a bunch of debris falls on it. And I think, that's the end of it. Now I'm walking through this office building. There's even more spiders. A lot more of those ball spider things around. I finally get out of the office building. I walk around for about another 20 minutes. I see a military base. I approach the military base. They let me in. They take away all my guns, unfortunately. There's my one gun and my stick. And they're interrogating me, see if I knew what the frick was going on. I didn't. And during the interrogation, the base was attacked by a giant orb weaver, which they shoot webs. And it somehow killed all of them. I escape, find my box filled with my handgun and my stick, and hairspray, and lighter. I kill the spider using the gun. Hitting in the legs didn't really work as well. I just had to shoot it in the head. After a few bullets and a few whacks, it went down. There were a few military soldiers left. I decided to just straight up leave. And as I'm walking down the road, I see the nemesis spider is like now jumping on buildings towards me. I start running again through another very long city filled with, again, more dog-sized spiders. I kept like bumping into it and I like just kept running away. It was like kind of like a game of cat and mouse. And I was the mouse. And after a while, I somehow managed to lose it. And I run into a survivor camp. And they let me in. They like don't take my weapons, thankfully. They gave me some food, and then I started interrogating them. One of the guys started pointing at a building. He says, "That's where they came from, okay, man? Stop interrogating us." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go there." They're like, "That is a horrible idea." I was like, I went, "Frick you, I do what I want." Anyways, so I'm about to leave. Then I hear something ramming the wall. It's not the nemesis spider, it's a wolf spider, which are poisonous, may I add. For some reason, these guys are better trained than military soldiers and actually helped me take down the thing. For some reason, I was the only one with a gun. I also found a shotgun on my way there, which was nice, you know, a nice simple shotgun. And they had harpoon guns for some reason, like harpoon guns you use on whales, which, you know, it's pretty easy when you can harpoon it down into place to get shot in the face with a shotgun. But, you know, so after me killing it, I thought, I'm going to take one of its fangs as a souvenir. And I did. Anyways, on my way to the lab area, it was just more complex roadways. The nemesis spider jumps in, blocks up every entrance with webs, purposely. It knew what it was doing, and then we got into another fight. Like I said, bullets weren't really doing much. Attacking him hydraulics was like the best thing I could do. At some point, a grenade fell down. It was on its back. You know what I decided to do? I'm going to shove this down its throat. I did. It went boom. There was a giant gaping hole where its mouth should be, and I think to myself, okay, now it's dead. It has to be dead. It's dead. I cut through the webs. I get a little lost in this, like, apartment complex area. I go back to where I fought it, and its body's just gone. I think to myself, how is it not dead? As I finally get out of there, after 2 hours of walking, I walk into the lab, which for some reason was not locked. There's a bunch of scientists, a bunch of people freaking out. One of the TV things in there said, "security breach." And I was standing there for like a solid 2 minutes. Then they noticed me. And this guy, we're going to call him Jeb, because why not? And he starts explaining to me, it's like, okay, we made the spiders by messing with DNA and crap. You know, radiation, whatever. And he hands me this list of, like, every spider that broke containment. And I notice the nemesis spider, he's like, and Jeb goes like, wait, you've seen this guy? Fun fact, he hunts through pheromone trails, which means he can follow you no matter what you do. Then, you know, he decides, the nemesis spider decides, let's crash through the building. The scientists start running away, frantically screaming. And I'm like, here we go again. One of the guys passed me an AK, which, I couldn't complain with that. So we start getting into so I start fighting this guy, I start running around. He now has acid spit, webbing, plus poison, and he likes to, kind of like, string himself to the ceiling. Somehow the ceiling reappeared. It's a dream. And he starts swinging around like he was a wrecking ball. Yes, I thought of the song, I came in like a wrecking ball during this. After a while, one of the guys threw down a syringe. It was like filled with acid or something. It was Jeb. He screamed, "Inject him with this." So I did. Then all of a sudden, he can't regenerate. So now all of a sudden, bullets started working. After a very long-winded fight, both sides equally tired, a box falls down. Fun fact, there's a rocket launcher in there. And I'm like, okay, I'm using this. And I shoot him, and he's nothing but legs. I have 2 more shots with it. 2. I couldn't find any other bullets. I had 2 shots, had to make them count. Anyways, Jeb comes back and congratulates me for finally killing that thing. And he explains who actually made the spiders and who released them. His name's Phil. Remember that name. It's going to come up later. And he starts explaining the bottom half of the lab. He took control of everything, the security system. There's still spiders down there. It's down there. They're even more dangerous, and he could easily release them. So I go down there, and there's obviously more, we're going to call them dog-sized spiders. Then there's also dog-sized orb weavers and dog-sized wolf spiders. Then there are the bed-sized versions of them, which, you know, that was fun to fight, especially when there's like 2 of them in the same room. It was fun to deal with that. So, you know, this mad scientist, this absolute maniac, when I finally confront him, he calmly introduced himself as Phil. He goes through this whole speech about evolution very calmly. He was like going over like logistics and crap. He was like very calm. Then he goes into his plan, which was very calm as well. It was like, you know, unleash all of them, you know, kind of let them do their thing, you know, really let evolution take control again. It's like, okay, that was a pretty dumb plan, I thought to myself. And you know what this guy did? He made a robot spider. Made of metal. Fun fact, bullets don't work on metal. So this like turned into a fight with me running around this guy. He shot like electric webs. His fangs didn't really do anything. I had to trick him to like ramming into pillars, which kind of like stunned him a little bit. I shot him, tried shooting him when I was stunned, didn't really do anything. I had to go through 6 separate rooms into 6 different pillars until he finally shot a web upwards and electrocuted himself. And I finally gained to Phil's room. He's like grabbing a briefcase filled with like study notes or something. He runs out. I chase after him. There's like a giant cave with a canyon in it. Not really a canyon. It's a cave with a very big hole. I like slowly approach the dude, and Phil's like, stay back or I'll jump. And then as he says that, a web attaches to his foot and drags him down. Then a whole lot of spiders started chasing him. Like, they hated him more than me. And I've killed like well over 200 of them. Like, they wanted revenge. And I think to myself, yeah, he's dead. He is very dead. So I head back up after like 20 minutes of walking. There's a bunch of scientists now begging me to kill what they've been calling the brood mother. They show me a photo of it. It's about the size of a boulder on the photo. Remember that. And I look at this and I think to myself, like, yeah, I could probably kill it. It's not too much bigger than what I've seen. Jeb comes with me in like a military car thing. I had a turret on it. Okay, that's all you need to know. And I see this thing. It's the size of a building. And I'm staring at it. It was like, how in the world am I supposed to kill that? So you know what I just did? I just started shooting at it. This got its attention. Jeb, which is the driver, starts driving real quickly away from it. So now I'm like being chased by this giant kaiju-sized spider while shooting at it to make sure it doesn't step on me or chuck a car at me. About a 5-minute long chase, we arrive at a mountain. Okay, so at this mountain, we get into like a final Resident Evil showdown or whatever. It tried jumping at me. It tried to eat the mountain, which did not work. It kind of just gave it toothache. It summoned other spiders somehow that attacked me. So I had a bit of a rematch with the orb weaver and wolf spider. It roared a little too close to me, and I shot a rocket in its mouth. And I heard an explosion, then it fell to the ground. Dead. As a sigh of release flows over me, I see a helicopter in the distance. It slowly lands on the mountain, which is somehow not destroyed, and takes me away. Then I woke up. And you know, that was the entire dream I had about a bunch of giant spiders. It's crazy, I know, right? This has been Chaos Life. I'm Nathan, and this is the end of the video. If you liked this video, watch it. If you didn't like it, then don't watch it. Or leave a like, whatever works for you, honestly. Goodbye.